you everybody for joining us. I know some will watch the replay, but super excited about our chat today with Nikki May. I'm going to go ahead and pin her lovely face. And thank you, Nikki, for joining us today.
Of course.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm excited and can't wait to hear all of the gems that you dropped today. And you have the floor.
Okay, awesome. I'm Nikki. I own Social Blueprint. And today I kind of want it to be more of a question and answer. So I'm going to go through the most common myths that I hear about social media because I really think that some of them just completely destroy your creativity. They just weigh you down. They make you feel like you have to do all this crazy stuff when in reality, we can simplify that quite a bit. So we're going to go through that and then just think about all your questions because I know that you have a lot and you can type them in the chat in the comments. If I answer something and you don't understand something I said, I know that I'm deeply entrenched in the social media sphere. So sometimes I will just drop like social media verbiage that is maybe not super well known. Please go ahead and ask me that. You can raise your hand if you want to ask it, on the video rather than type it in the comments. Doesn't matter to me. Whatever works for you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. It's not going to be a super long presentation. Like I said, we're just going to go through the very common myths that happen in social media. And okay, perfect. So y'all can see this, right? Okay, perfect. So just a little about me so you know that I do know what I'm talking about. I've been working in social media specifically for small businesses for the last actually more than 4 years now. Through that, I have researched digital spending habits for consumers. And I've really kind of dived into how social media can help businesses grow and get sales as opposed to just being a place that you feel like you have to post on because people tell you you have to post on. There is an actual strategy that y'all can use to convert these followers and people who actually see your content into loyal subscribers or customers, whatever you're going for in your field. And so my whole goal when I launched my business last year was to specifically help small businesses who either want to do their social media but aren't really sure where to start. I can help them on that journey, or I can just take it over for you, depending on what you need. So I've worked in a variety of industries. I was just telling Stephanie, I just signed somebody in the automotive motor performance racing industry today. Which is going to be super fun and different. But I also have worked with quite a few childcare industries because I know y'all are in the nanny field. Are y'all doing just strictly nannies, or do you also offer other things? I think you're muted, Stephanie.
I offer other things, house managers, personal assistants, and housekeepers.
Okay, and Deidre, you're muted as well if you want to say what else you're offering.
I also do house managing as well, and refer people to early childhood classes.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And Michelle, what about you?
Same thing as Deidre. I do the same stuff, offering that. So.
Okay, awesome. And that helps because I know I'm speaking at Stephanie's conference coming up in August, which is really exciting. And so I had kind of crafted more around nannies, but since y'all are kind of branching into these other things, I'll start incorporating that too in what we're going to talk about. But let's go ahead and answer these questions. And like I said, think about the questions that you have and definitely ask them after this is over. So these are the most common ones I hear. So we're going to go through what's true and what is just made up. Like they don't have any backing with Meta or TikTok or any platform that's come out and said it. So the first one is, what's the best time to post? And this is probably the question that I get asked the most. The answer is, there is not a best time to post that is universally accepted. So I can't tell you that as long as you post at 8 p.m. every single night, your content's going to do really well. That's not how it works. Now, if you go into like your Instagram or your TikTok analytics, it might be able to tell you a time that your audience is on the platform, right? So I don't know if y'all have gone into your professional dashboard before, but you can kind of see it has that bar graph and it'll say around 3 p.m. or unfortunately mine says 3 a.m., which I'm not going to wake up at 3 a.m. to do a post. That's just not going to happen. But maybe some of y'all have better times that you can actually engage with them. The issue with this is that your analytics is telling you when your audience is online the most, but it's not telling you when your engaged audience is online. So you may have 1,000 followers, but your content's only getting a few likes. And that probably means that your followers aren't actually seeing your stuff. So it doesn't matter if you post it when they're online, it's not being shown because of the algorithm. So we'll talk about how to kind of boost your algorithm and what's really going to help you with that. But it is a myth that there is a best time to post. There really isn't. And even if you follow that Instagram analytics and TikTok analytics, it's not going to help you that much either. Also, the feed is not chronological. I'm sure we all know that. It's showing you stuff that you've interacted with and content that's similar to stuff that you've interacted with. So next, do I need to post every day to grow my account? No, you don't. While your account may grow faster if you post every day or even multiple times a day, you don't need to. And I think this is one thing that really hurts owners, right? So if you think that you have to post every day and then you have this whole mental capacity, which is kind of diminishing because coming up with that much content is, it's a lot. That's why social media managers exist. This is basically a full-time job to make your account grow. And so just putting that on your plate is too much. And as business owners, you are probably putting out fires all day long. There is stuff that is going wrong, and that takes priority over your social media. And it absolutely should take priority. And so you should never feel guilty if you haven't posted in a day or even a week because you have been so busy growing your business and doing what you actually want to do. Because I'm willing to bet that your social media is not really what you want to do, but you just feel like you need to do it. So you don't have to post every day. What I recommend is maybe try to come up with a schedule of saying, I'm going to try to post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that's fine. You could say, I just want to post 2 videos a week. That's fine as well. Really what matters is that your content is resonating with the audience that's going to transform into buyers, right? So it doesn't matter if you have 10,000 followers, if you don't make any money from it, then you're just wasting your time and your resources. There's no point in doing that. So if all of your clients are coming from referrals, it means that your social media strategy is, to be blunt, it's no good. And it's a complete waste of your time. And again, we'll talk about that way more at the conference, but we're going to delve into how to convert your followers and how to actually grow your brand awareness and turn those into money-making machines. Like, we're going to use social media as a digital marketing avenue, not just as like somewhere to post. Like, you can actually make a great ROI on social media. So we'll talk about that. Number 3, will my posts do worse if they are scheduled? No, no platform cares. The platforms care about if people are consuming your content. If you're creating content that people want to see, they don't care where it's being scheduled from. They don't care if you're going in and manually doing it or if you're scheduling a month out. I would not really recommend doing a month. The most I recommend doing is 2 weeks because things can change over those 2 weeks. And you might even post something that goes viral. We don't love that term because it doesn't necessarily help your business, especially if you're location specific. But let's say you have something and it does really well and it gets you 5 new clients. You just need to post that video again and again. And you need to find out how to do a very similar video again and again and again. And so if you have content for a month, you might have kind of wasted 2 weeks of your time because 5 of those posts did terribly, but a few of those posts got you clients, and you want to replicate the posts that are getting you clients, right? So it doesn't matter. Next one, how important is consistency in posting and engaging? People, for some reason, harp on this whole consistency thing. Like, you need to post every single day at noon to grow your account. And it's BS. It's not true. I don't know where they're getting this information from. I am a huge research person. I like to go into what Meta and TikTok and Lemonade and YouTube are actually saying and telling you. I don't think they're going to lie to you. I really think they want you to do well because then it continually encourages you to be on the platform, right? The only reason that this helps grow your account is because the more you create content, the faster and the better you get at creating content, the more analytics you get. So you can go into your account and you can see, okay, these 3 videos outperformed all my rest. I'm just going to create content like that, right? And also it takes a lot of time. When you first start and you're trying to put a video together, it might take you an hour. And then to see it only get 3 likes really sucks. And it kind of makes you feel like you're wasting your time, right? And it's just part of the process. When you're starting an account, or if your account is kind of dead, like you have a decent amount of followers, you have a decent amount of posts, but for some reason it's just not really doing what you want it to do. When you start getting more consistent, you're just going to get better at it. You're going to learn what your audience wants. And that's really what it's all about, is what does your audience want? Again, with the virality, it might help for brand awareness, but what we're trying to do is kind of do your brand awareness as your main thing. So people learn who you are, they learn that you are an option for them. And then you're going to kind of create a funnel, right? This is your sales, your marketing funnel that says, okay, I know who this company is. Let me learn more about them. And then if you align with their needs, then they're going to buy from you. And that's what your social media should do, is grab their attention, have them come to your account to learn more about your business, and then have those CTAs and those posts that basically encourage them to work with you. And they're all very different. And so your consistency can help in that respect. But if you're consistently posting bad content or content that doesn't align with what your target audience wants to see, then it's not going to help you. Next, a lot of people harp on trending audio, and I'll kind of do these together, trending audio and hashtags. It's not the fact that you put a trending audio with your video that got you more reach or more eyeballs watching your content. So what happens is that if there's something that's trending, you have to hop on that trend, but just transform it to something that your niche wants to see. So I'm actually going to post a video today on my account. So my account is pretty new, but because I know what I'm doing, I have made a lot of money, even though I have less than 200 followers on it, because there's a strategy with what I'm doing, and y'all can do the same. And so there's a trend that basically is saying, do I have to do this, or does this have to happen? And then you have it from another perspective that it says, yeah or no. And then your third clip is showing your response to it. And so one that blew up was an employee asking her boss, like, do I have to come into work tomorrow? Then it cuts to the boss, and the boss says, yeah, you work here, like you have to go to work. And then that cuts to the employee who's upset about the answer, right? So that is trending across Instagram and Twitter and TikTok right now. And so I basically used that trend, and I said the same thing. Do I have to come into work tomorrow? And then it cuts to me as the business owner who says, yeah, you own the company. And then it cuts to me being upset that I have to work tomorrow, right? So it's the same thing, but it's just slightly different because I'm targeting business owners. And so I want to create something that business owners can relate to. And the audio goes with that. But when somebody hears that audio, they're expecting to see a certain trend. So if you are putting a trending audio over something, but you aren't matching the trend, people are going to immediately swipe away, because when they hear that audio, they want to see how you're using the trend. They don't want to be fooled into it. And the second they realize that you're not, they're going to say, oh, and keep going. So trending audio can help if you're actually following that trend. I hope that makes sense. And then as far as hashtags go, a lot of people have been coming out and saying that hashtags do not matter and not to waste your time on it. And again, that's BS, because Meta and TikTok have both come out and said, yes, hashtags are important. They help you with your reach. Don't listen to people who don't actually do their research. Yes, it helps. They have come out and said it helps. So you need to use them, or you should be using them. But your hashtags should be related to the keywords that you want to rank for and that you want your videos to rank for. Does everybody know what I mean when I say keywords? Maybe. Okay. So your keywords are going to be, I think Google's the easiest way to explain this. So when you go to Google and you search how to make Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets, right? Okay. So what's going to pop up is the pages that obviously have paid for that keyword, which is like Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets. But underneath that, you're going to see recipes that's in their title, like copycat Chick-fil-A nuggets, or it's going to be repeated in the text of their blog. And your social media is doing something very similar, where it's now starting to do that SEO, the search engine optimization that Google is doing. So as a nanny agency, let's say you post one and you're trying to target the moms who need a nanny, right, for their newborn baby that they just had. You want to think about what you want to rank for. So I would think, okay, what would somebody search for in order to find me, if that's my target audience? Maybe one of the hashtags is newborn nanny. Where can I find a nanny in Austin, Texas? Like, these are things that people are searching for. So whatever you want to rank for, that's what you want to put in your hashtags. And I would also say that's what you should be putting in your caption. So your SEO is very important, both on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, because they're part of Meta. They can read your captions. So if somebody types in newborn nanny in Austin, you want to pop up for that. So if you have put in your hashtags newborn nanny in Austin, and then also in your caption, you have said, are you looking for a newborn nanny in Austin? Blah, 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 blah. And then you mention it again, you have now said it 3 times. And maybe you also said it in your video. So you've repeated this keyword multiple times, which gives you a higher likelihood that when somebody searches that, you're going to pop up at the top. You're going to be one of the first ones that they see. And that's where you're going to get your awareness, right? So maybe your video doesn't do splendidly when you post that, because you know that people looking for a nanny for their newborn, there might not be a ton, especially if you are location specific. But as people are searching those terms, you are going to rank higher and higher and higher. So maybe it doesn't perform amazingly, but this is a video that's hyper targeted. So when somebody searches for that, you appear. Does that make sense? Okay, and that is more important, because let's say that maybe you do post something that is viral about getting a nanny for a newborn. That's great. But how many of those people who saw it are actually looking for what you're selling at this moment? Probably not that many. So really what's more important is that you appear when somebody needs you to appear, not just because you posted an entertaining video. And the last one is, are Reels still the best way to grow on Instagram? We know that on TikTok, we're posting videos. Side note, if you did not know, TikTok did increase their content length to 10 minutes, and they are promoting the horizontal video. So they want people to turn their phone to watch your video, because they're trying to figure out how to compete more with YouTube. So TikTok's making updates there, but specifically on Instagram, people have been saying forever that Reels are the best way to grow. And I would say that is still true, but your carousels and your posts are actually starting to perform more. And what's happening is not Instagram going in on their algorithm and changing it. What's happening is that so many people have pushed this Reels narrative that everyone is making Reels, and there's less people viewing them because they're going to TikTok or they're going to YouTube Shorts, or it's just that Reels is only going to show you the best of the best, like what is performing so well that people are interacting with it. And so it's only going to show the super popular ones. So people aren't really creating just the carousels and the posts, which means you have less competition with those. So what I would say is Reels are still the best way to grow, because you have a better chance of being entertaining and relatable in a reel, in a video where people are seeing your face or what's going on that you want to share. There's a higher chance that you can encourage a feeling. And the more you can encourage a feeling of, oh my gosh, that's me, or haha, that's so funny, or wow, that makes me so angry, whatever that feeling is that you're trying to provoke, it's going to do better on your social media. Like, you shouldn't really put out something that has no feeling attached to it, because it's not really going to help you. So think about that feeling that you want people to have when they watch your video. And it just has a better chance of relating to them, right? But still keep putting your carousels and your stories and all that stuff as a high importance, because specifically your stories are where you're going to sell the best, because only the truest of your true fans are watching those stories and clicking those links, right? Okay, I know this was only supposed to be like 30 minutes. We only have 7 minutes left. But what questions do y'all have that I can answer? Or, I mean, this can be very specific to your account. I am happy to get feedback on stuff as well.
So for the business owners who don't like to be on camera, what
Yeah.
are your recommendations? I'm a fan of being on camera, but I know everybody doesn't like to be. So what do you suggest for that?
This is a great question because there's also been a rise in faceless accounts. And the reason that I think these faceless accounts are not going to make it is because people relate to people. People don't relate to brands. If you don't like being on camera, find someone on your team or encourage your nannies to record content if the families are okay with it, or your home organizers, encourage them to do that, and send it in. And maybe you can do like a giveaway or a raffle or something. I've seen people do that too, where they can reach out to their customers, their clients, and say, hey, we're giving away this thing or a free month subscription, or however it works for your business. If you send us footage and like the best footage, the best review, whatever, we can do that. So there's ways to still get people into your content, but I do highly encourage that you have faces, or at least people in your content, because it's just so much easier to be relatable. And what the algorithms push is authenticity. So are you just following every trend, or are you actually like a thought leader in your industry? Are you bringing up something that's different than what everyone else is talking about? And it's kind of hard to do that without people. You can use B-roll footage, but it's not the same. People can typically tell if it's stock footage or not, but just be creative in how you can get people on your account if it's not going to be you.
Thank
Any
you. Awesome. Looks like we have a question from Deidre. Oh, you
Yeah,
want to
I
ask?
have I was going to ask, I'm one of those people, I don't really care to be online, but I was going to ask about AI, or when I repost someone else's content, and you know how some people, it's like a frame of the content posting, and the other person's giving commentary either by body language or facial expressions, or they'll pause it and then comment. How does that work in this world?
Great question. So you can absolutely do that. So what you're talking about is kind of like the side-by-side footage, or you can do, you know, the ones that have this first 3-second snippet and then you respond to it. Those are great. Are you saying that like you don't want to be on camera at all, or you just like kind of responding to what other people are doing?
I prefer not to be. On my site, you'll see the children, you'll see them playing. You
Yeah.
might see my hands chopping, but rarely do I want to say, "Hey, no, 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 no," like as
Yeah.
a authority. Yeah, and then I don't have a problem against that, but
Mhm.
I want to position it where it's not about me, but more about the industry, the children, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think you can absolutely do that. And I think piggybacking off of other people's content ideas is great as well. And one reason is because it notifies the content creator when you do that, right? So that's automatically an eyeball. Like if somebody used my content for something, I'm gonna go check out what they're doing. If they like it, they might share it. If they don't, they might start some stuff in the comments, which for businesses a little bit risky, but honestly, it does push your content more. I think if you don't want to be on camera, you can absolutely make it work. You said that you're seeing children and stuff in your content. That's great. That's wonderful. It doesn't have to be you. I would just say it just has to be somewhat relatable, and that people can look at something and say like, oh, that's so cute, or wow, I love that, or that's so funny. Just anything that they can relate to, which is just easier than when they see text on the screen, right? So I think you're doing it great. Yeah. Anything else?
For those who struggle with coming up with content, of course, we have your services. But what are your thoughts on that? Just trying not to be copycat or trying to do what everybody else does, but kind of making it our own. What are your thoughts?
So I think that for most owners I talk to, coming up with content is absolutely the bane of their existence. Like, this is the hardest thing. I've even had some owners say, I don't care. I'll video whatever I need to. I'll create whatever I need to, but I don't have any mental space to think of it. So there's a few options. One is schedule it into your day that for 10 minutes, it doesn't even have to be a lot. For 10 minutes, you scroll through your niche on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, wherever, Twitter, wherever you want to look at it, and just jot down content ideas that come to mind. I would say don't be super picky at that point. If you see something and you're like, oh my gosh, that reminds me of something, write it down. Because what people relate to is the everyday normal experiences, right? So when you think of like luxury travel content creators, right? It's maybe not something that everyone can relate to. I cannot spend a night in a $5,000 a night hotel, right? I don't know who can, but these people are doing it. So while the feeling that I'm getting from that might be like, oh, I wish I could stay there, really what I relate to is that really funny cat video, or the video of somebody saying why traffic made them so mad today because the left lane was going the slowest out of all the lanes, right? That is relatable. All of us can understand that, and it has a better possibility of being shared or people engaging with it. So yeah, if something pops into your mind when you see something that does really well and you're like, oh, that reminds me of this one instance in my business, write down that idea to maybe talk about or think about how to show that as a video or a carousel, right? And another idea is just use what you're doing in your daily life. So if you interact with kids because you're a mom and they do something funny and you're okay with your kids being on camera or whatever, you can film that, or you could write it down to talk about what your kids did, because I know there's a lot of parents who don't want their kids out there, but when they share the experiences they had of what their kids said or did that day, other moms are like, oh my gosh, my kid is the same. My kid would absolutely do something like that, right? So use your daily life. For me, I target small business owners. And so I'll just set up a tripod and record myself working, because that's what business owners are doing. They're at their desk and they're just working all the time. And like for me, one thought I had is I was laying in bed one night and I thought I could have done 10 more things for my business. Like, I feel so guilty that I didn't do these 10 things. And then I thought other business owners probably feel the same. They probably have trouble sleeping because of everything that they didn't get to do during the day. That is now on my content calendar because that's relatable to people. So it doesn't have to be crazy. You don't have to like go on location and do this whole shoot. People really want to see the authentic side of you, the authentic side of your business, and really what you stand for. And so just use what you're normally doing. Tell stories about what happened at your work today, and people will relate to that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. All right, seems like we're good with questions. That's awesome. I'm surprised. Normally I talk way over. I just had another speaking engagement and I went way over my time. I basically was like, if you have to leave, you can leave, but I'm gonna keep going, right? Until everyone is happy. So like I told Stephanie, oh yeah.
Yes. Stories really quickly. Main feed versus stories. Like, I know that I personally on my personal page, I share other people's content to my stories and sometimes I'll talk, but business wise, what are your thoughts? Like, how do we maintain that? I guess you said intimate when people watch your stories, that's like your crew, whatever. How do we maintain that?
Ooh, I love talking about stories. This is like a whole other thing, but I'll try to make it super short. So your stories, we talked about, it's the best place to sell, right? Because like Stephanie said, that is like the truest of the true that are watching. And those are people who are intimately interested in your business and what you are doing and what you are selling. So you want to use interactive stickers. Does everyone know what I mean when I say interactive stickers on their stories? Yes. Okay. So when you can add polls, you can add questions, those weird little emojis that they can just tap or something. The more people interact with your stories, the more Instagram and TikTok stories are kind of dying out. You can keep posting them, but they are nowhere near as helpful as Instagram's. So when people engage with your story, Instagram is going to say, this is an interesting story. And it's going to keep bumping it and bumping it and bumping it to the top of people's feeds so that hopefully it's within the first 5, right? And so you want to give people the ability to interact with your story. I'm not saying you have to have like a sticker on every single page, but because people are buying from your story or checking out your website more so than any other place on your social media, what I encourage is tell people in your captions of your posts, in your reels, like something about your story, right? You should be watching my stories. My stories are where I share the latest sales. My stories are where I share the latest product drops or the people who are joining my team, like whatever. Include that. So it's all coming together. So your story shouldn't feel like this separate, here's what's happening in my life. It should be kind of all together. Like in your stories, you're encouraging people, you're saying, I just dropped a reel. This is the story behind it. So now people are like, well, let me go check out that reel once I listen to the story. And in that reel, you can even say, to learn more about this specific instance, I'm sharing it all in my stories today. You know, so you're kind of linking them together using that interactive sticker, and ask people their opinions. People love giving their opinion, right? This is what we live for. We hear stories, we make them about us, and then we want to share our side or something similar that happened to us. So give them the opportunity to tell you what they want and ask what they want to see. We were talking about content earlier. If you are just completely burnt on content and you can't think of anything, post it in your story with an open-ended question and say, what do you want to see? Or if you're like, I'm between these 3 things, I don't know what I should talk about, ask it in your story because people love to tell you what they want. So you just have to give them that avenue. Yeah, Deidre.
Can you say a little bit more about conversions again? 'Cause it seems like what's important is really going for someone looking at your content and, you know, hiring you to be a nanny or using your services. So how do you make that whole leap?
I have this in my presentation, actually, just in case we had time. Okay. I love this. I'm so passionate about this because I think a lot of social media gurus that are out there are telling you how to be a really good viral influencer, but they're not telling you how to actually sell anything on your social media. And so I like to talk about that aspect of it. And I think the easiest way is with your sales funnel here. So if you aren't aware of your sales funnel, you have awareness, interest, and sales. There are some other steps, but I like to make it as simple as possible. Your awareness is where you're getting people's attention, right? So this is when things go viral, or not even viral, they just outperform your other posts. This is something that is relatable and people are sharing it and blah, blah, blah. And it's getting a lot of eyeballs on your content that you just posted, right? So when we think about this as like I'm going to compare it to Google here because that was happening really before the social media blew up. So it'd be like somebody going on Google and saying best nanny agency near me or how to find a nanny. They don't know really what to do, but they're starting the process of trying to figure it out. So at no point really do people just say like, I want to hire from the nanny league or whatever, right? Like they are starting the process of figuring out what they want. Once they search that, then it might come down to like care.com versus babysitting connection, or they're going to start looking at your reviews, right? So they're starting to compare their top choices based on what they saw. So that's your interest stage. And then your sales is obviously when they sign up. So you want your social media to follow that same thing. So your awareness is getting people's attention. So you posted something that they related to and it's memorable for them. Typically what you want your funnel to do is they see this reel or they see this post and they think, interesting, like I'm kind of into that. They click it and they go to your profile. This is where they enter the interest phase. So now they're on your profile. They want to learn more about your company. They want to learn what you're selling. Can they trust you? There's a rule in marketing that says on average, people need to see your company and your products or your services a minimum of 7 times before they work with you or they buy from you. So when you think about that, if you post every single day for a week, you have posted 7 times, but the likelihood that somebody has seen every single one of those posts is basically non-existent unless it's like your mom or your best friend, right? But you're trying to reach other people. So the more you post, the more you give them this ability to see your stuff, but your interest is really where they're saying, I'm kind of like, I'm thinking about working with you. I want to see if you're the right fit for me. So your interest level stuff is going to be, here's what sets us apart, from other agencies, or here are the reviews we got just in the last week. If y'all have posted, reviews to your account before, you've probably seen that they don't perform that well. Very few people like them. Nobody shares them. Nobody really comments. Maybe a few people who are proud of you. But that's not the point. When you post your reviews, the point of the review is not to go viral, right? The point of your review is this interest phase. It's telling people that when they come to your account, because you got their attention and they're interested in you, that they can see that other people have liked you, and it's starting to gain their trust, right? You're starting to build that authority of you are a reputable company. People like working with you and you care about your customers. That is important to people, right? So it's okay that your review posts don't do well. It's not supposed to be for that. It's really supposed to be to encourage people to go down your funnel into your sales. So to actually get people through this whole funnel, you can't just post really funny memes, and you can't just post reviews because no one's going to see them. You have to combine them. And then your sales is going to be your results. So this is going to be your promotional content. This is going to be where you say, this is what we did for a client, or this is an interview, like a video interview with a client. This is really what she had to say about us. This is how we can change your life, your day, your next year. It's something that is, again, it's not going to go viral. It's not going to perform better than those memes that you're posting. But what it's going to do is encourage the people who have already heard about you, who have done some digging into you. It's going to be that final straw that convinces them to work with you. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Of course. I won't go through this one super much, but if y'all want to take a picture or record it, this is kind of what I recommend for each level here. So your awareness is going to be those relatable, funny memes and reels. Again, you can make people mad. You can share something controversial. One of my tips is to say, talk about something controversial. It doesn't mean you have to take a side. Okay. Your business does not have to be political. It does not have to be religious. It can be something like a Tesla. People are very divided. They either love Teslas or they hate Teslas. And those are the people that are going to comment, right? At no point do you have to say, this is why Teslas are superior, right? But you're just bringing up something that people feel very heated about, and they can battle it out in the comments, and it just helps that you gain more awareness, because the more people comment, the more Instagram says, this is a good post, and it's going to spread it, right? So your reels and memes are where people are going to first hear about you. And then your interest is where people are going to learn more about you. So that's your carousels, whatever you highlight. Don't highlight every story that you share. Your highlight should have a purpose. Your highlight should be this interest phase. It is, why should people trust you? It is where you're sharing reviews. It is sharing about you as an owner, because people want to know who owns that company, believe it or not. They are interested in you. So answering questions, your pinned posts, what you're appearing at the top of your feed, should not just be those reels that went viral, okay? Those should be your interest posts. Those should be this is why you want to work with us. This is why you can trust us. Because people who are coming to your profile have already heard about you. They don't need to see another funny thing. They need to know if they can trust you. And then your sales are your stories and your lives, because your stories, you can do those clickable links, and those lives are where you're building that extra trust and convincing people to work with you as well. And they can engage with you in real time, which is really nice as well. Okay.
Awesome.
Any other things?
Thank you. We have a couple questions. So Anna asks, I just tuned in, so I may have missed this if you're covering it. How can agency owners post jobs available in a fun and interesting way?
It's a great question. I have a lot of things popping into my mind. So, you can there, okay, I'm just gonna blurt out stuff. So rather than just doing a job posting description, right, which is just boring across the board, I do recommend it for Facebook though. Do your job descriptions on Facebook with the link, because Facebook people are looking for those links and whatever. Also LinkedIn, you can do that too. But if you want it to be more standoutish, you can do a skit. So you can do a skit interview with somebody. You can also do a day in the life of a nanny, a home organizer, a sitter. Find somebody who's interested in it and who will record it and make it seem like the best job ever and explain why they love every single aspect of it, right? Or make it really funny. You can do that. You can do a negative hook reel. So your negative hooks is basically like why you should never become a nanny, right? It's too much fun. The kids are too cute. Like, it's kind of different. Those do pretty well. The negative hooks really grab attention. So the more you can integrate those, the better. It's more interesting to see somebody say, you should never become a nanny. Here's why, than to hear somebody say, here's why you should be a nanny, right? Like your interest is more piqued with the negative. It's just a human reaction. You respond to negative things better. It's why you can get 100 comments of, I love this, and one comment that says, this is the worst post I've ever seen in my life. And that's what you fixate on. There is something about humans, they fixate on the negative. So if you can kind of make it funny like that, you can also do memes. So one of my favorite things is to go to CapCut. They have a lot of templates in there, and search for something that you could relate to your job description. So it could be maybe somebody, I can't even think of one right now, but somebody from some famous movie that says like, this is the best day of my life or something like that. And then you could put in text over it when you finally get that nanny job, right? So it's just more interesting. And then your caption, that can be a little bit more serious, that says, we are hiring and these are the qualifications we're looking for and here's how to apply. But if you just want the video to be more funny, those are just some ideas that you can use.
I love those. Thank you.
Yay.
Um,
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, as we wrap up, Michelle, I'm going to send out all of Nikki's information. But Nikki, if you just kind of want to tell us where everybody can find you.
Yeah, sure. So everything across all social media and my website is going to be Social Blueprint LLC. So those are my usernames for everything, and that is my website right there. So it's pretty easy to find. And then, yeah, if y'all want to talk about anything, because I have been working with small business owners, I know that there is never a one size fits all. I do a lot of different services. So I do from just consultations where you can say, I just need to talk to someone for an hour to figure stuff out. I will do whatever you need me to do. We can come up with a content calendar. We can come up with a shot list. Literally anything, versus all the way to full social media management where I try to take everything off your plate that I can. So everything is adjustable. Whatever you need, let me know. We will make it work with social media so we can help elevate your brand to actually make those sales and not just get out there. And there's just one last thing. If anyone here is considering buying followers, please don't do it. Don't do it. It absolutely ruins your brand. And then it's better for you to just start a whole new account, which is just really a bummer. If you have bought followers and you have questions about that, I can help you get out of that. It's going to take a bit, but just save yourself the time. Don't do it. And if you want to work with somebody in social media, I would love to help you. So yeah, you can just reach out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Nikki will be at our Nanny Agency Summit in August. So if you are not registered, please head over to nannyagencyschool.com/summit and grab registration. Nikki, thank you. You were so amazing. I have so many notes. And I can't wait to implement all of your great strategies and utilize your services. So thank you everyone for watching, and we will talk to you. Oh, Krista, I would love to know more about why not to buy followers. I haven't, but know folks who have. Oh,
Yeah,
have a
no worries. I will talk and talk for as long as y'all need. If you have to go ahead and go. But yeah, Krista, let me answer your question. So, don't buy followers because Instagram and TikTok, basically every algorithm is going to judge you based on your engagement rate. All right. When you buy followers, these are people who are never going to view, like, comment, share your stuff. When you have, let's say, 5,000 followers, all right, but they don't ever engage with you, Instagram says this account's content sucks. Bottom line, they don't post or they don't promote it, they don't boost it, like nothing's going to happen. But you're not going to reach your target audience. So when you start, even if you only have 100 followers, okay, it's better to have 100 followers who would buy from you than 5,000 who don't ever see what you're posting and really don't care about you, because you can make money from those 100 followers. But if you have 100 and then you just buy 5,000 followers, you now have what, 4,900 people who don't care about your business at all. And when you share content, the algorithm is now confused because your fake followers are following all these random accounts. They have no idea really what they want to see. And when they send out your content and it goes to, because it's going to randomly choose, right? It might choose a random 100 followers to show your stuff to, but most of them don't care about it. If they don't engage with it, doesn't get sent to any more followers. Like Instagram has said, this is like, it's a no, right? But if you have engaged people who genuinely care about your stuff and they are watching it and they're, even if they don't like it, if they stop scrolling, Instagram knows that. TikTok knows that. They're judging what you stop scrolling on if you watch a video the whole way through. So you want people who are actually interested. And that way, Instagram says, I know who her target audience is. I know what they're interested in. And so I'm going to push it to more people who are interested in the same thing. And that's how you're going to start getting new clients.
Awesome. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. Okay, ladies, any more questions? This has been so good. And I'll send out the replay as well.
Great.
Awesome. Well, I think we're good. So thank you so much again, Nikki, for your time. And so excited to hear everybody's updates, and we will see you soon.
Awesome. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.